Today on Mining Minutes Wrap-Up, we've got the Mercenary Geologist, Mickey Fulb, joining me to chat mining and gold prices. It's coming up. Mickey, thank you very much for joining me today.
It's always my pleasure, Alex.
All right, Mickey, the mining industry is going through some tough times right now, very strong headwinds against it. How long can these headwinds last?
I think the headwinds are going to continue. I actually called for a bottom in January at the Cambridge House Conference, and that didn't work out very well. We're still trying to find a bottom. What I see right now is no one's selling in May, no one's selling, but no one's buying. So we have no liquidity, and we have the summer doldrums coming. So the near term, say until Labor Day, does not look particularly good to me.
All right, I watch the wires every day, and looking for exploration results, whatever it may be, and it's just really empty, very dry, like the desert. How long can this last?
Well, eventually it will get better, but there's still exploration going on because a lot of companies raised a lot of money in 2009, 2010 into 2011. So there's a significant number, a minority of companies that still have money and are still exploring. The problem right now is very difficult to raise additional dollars. But on the positive side, exploration discovery is being rewarded. We've seen half a dozen or so new discoveries, particularly, I should say, in the copper gold sector that have moved specific companies. So I'm encouraged by the fact that discovery is still being rewarded.
Earnings season pretty much just finished. We had lots of seniors who didn't report strong quarters. I know you're interested in juniors. You follow juniors. What's your take on them moving forward?
Well, junior mining has always been a bit of a tough go because they don't generate enough metal to generate enough cash flow to reward their shareholders with dividends. So that's a problem with the small miners. As far as the explorers go, the explorers always lag behind the miners in terms of recovery. Now, if we look at the junior miners or even the large miners, their performance has been atrocious, to be quite frank. And what we've seen with the major miners is heads have rolled over the last 6 months or so. Most CEOs are gone. But the problem is, I don't know any CEO that makes decisions in a company. The decisions, with the CEO guidance, of course, are made by the board of directors. So in my opinion, there ought to be a shareholder revolt with some of these large gold companies and run the board of directors out, because I think they're the ones responsible for lack of performance over this entire boom that started in 2003, the gold boom.
As you mentioned earlier, you said there were new discoveries. What in the short term, what kind of discoveries can we look towards?
Well, the market is very much rewarding copper discoveries and gold discoveries, and most of the exploration dollars, I would say, are being thrown into those two metals because, especially for copper, the long-term fundamentals remain very strong. There's also been a recent uranium discovery in the Athabasca Basin that's set off a bit of a stinking rush on the west side of that basin, which historically has not been explored nearly as much as the eastern side. So it seems to me, no matter what commodity that you have a discovery in, that the market's going to reward it. Certainly, I am starting to become bullish on natural gas. I have been bullish on uranium for long-term fundamentals for quite some time. All in all, I remain a secular bull in commodities. As long as commodity prices remain relatively strong, the junior business will not go away. We are not seeing what we saw in the late 1990s and early 2000s, where we had no liquidity, no desire for juniors, and we had very bad metal prices. That is not the case now.
All right, let's wrap up with gold. We know that Ben Bernanke had his big day on Wednesday. What were your thoughts on it?
Well, I'm going to do a bit of alliteration here. So the Fed soothsayer once again sparked the market in specie, and speculators went away. We've seen this time and time again. In anticipation of his speech, gold was up $30 or $40, and as soon as his speech happened, it went down $40 or $50. It reminds me very much of what was going on in 2011, where the market would anticipate his remarks, and if the remarks didn't work out exactly, then gold goes on this very volatile run again, up or down. Personally, I like volatility. I welcome a somewhat volatile gold market because it gives me buying opportunities. One thing we should look at right now would be the gold-silver ratio. Is pushing a 2-year high, about 62. And then also, Kitco is involved with all precious metals, and the platinum palladium story is very compelling to me right now. Platinum has held in during the correction, or at least the second round of the correction at the end of last week. Palladium has continued to rise. So right now we're looking at a platinum to palladium ratio less than 2, and I can't remember exactly when that last happened. So the fundamentals of platinum and palladium remain very strong.
Well, that was great, Mickey. Thank you very much for talking with me today.
All right. Always a pleasure, Alex. Thank you.
And thank you for watching this edition of Mining Minutes Wrap-Up. If you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to send them to newsfeedback@kitco.com. You can also follow the conversation at Alex_Létourneau on Twitter. And before we go, we'll leave you with this week's movers and shakers.